Before we get into our main stories, we have a little bit of breaking news continued from our previous show. The U.S. has just announced that it targeted and destroyed an Iranian drone in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, President Trump made the announcement moments ago in the East Room of the White House.
The Boxer took defensive action against an Iranian drone which had closed into a very, very near distance, approximately 1,000 yards, ignoring multiple calls to stand down, and was threatening the safety of the ship and the ship's crew. The drone was immediately destroyed. This is the latest of many provocative and hostile actions by Iran against vessels operating in international waters.
For more on this, I'm going to bring in RT producer Saya Tavenger. Saya, you've got a lot of experience into this region, obviously dealing with this. Fill us in on what has happened and what is going on, and what is the reaction from other world leaders?
Sure. Well, as of right now, like President Trump just announced, the U.S. Navy ship, the USS Boxer, which is actually an assault ship, took down an Iranian drone. Now, what we don't know yet is whether the drone was considered to be in Iranian waters or in international waters, because as we know, the Strait of Hormuz, there are parts that Iran considers Iranian waters. So, but based on what the U.S. is saying, this drone had gone extremely close to this U.S. Navy ship, about 1,000 yards. And that is at the point that the crew in the U.S. Navy ship felt unsafe and took down the drone.
And obviously, this is a surprise. President Trump has had several different media availabilities today addressing issues from last night's rally. Never gave a hint that there was anything going on. So this was, I don't know if it was a surprise, but it was obviously something that wasn't necessarily in the president's planner. Is this in response, however, to this tanker seizure that we're now confirming by Iran? Tell us a little bit about that and how that story has developed through the day, and if this could be a reaction to the Iranians admitting that, yes, we do have a tanker in our hands.
Right. So on Sunday, a tanker which belonged to the United Arab Emirates disappeared off the Strait of Hormuz, and there's been no any kind of announcement of where that tanker is now. But now Iran is saying they have taken a UAE tanker which was carrying about 1,000 liters of smuggled oil, and they've captured that tanker. But what we don't know yet is who that tanker belongs to. The UAE has denied that that tanker belongs to them, and no company or country has come forward. So could this be retaliation to that tanker? We don't know yet, because nobody is taking responsibility of who the tanker belongs to.
You know, Sky, just knowing military, in my mind right now, I'm thinking, what kind of drone was this? Do we know, is there a difference in it by looking at him, if this was just a surveillance drone, or was this one that actually had some sort of ballistic capabilities or some sort of ability to fire on the soldiers before they actually took them out? Well,
that we don't know yet. So there is the surveillance drone, which was the exact kind of drone that last month was taken down by the Iranians. It was
good. So we're now going back and forth on this.
Exactly.
That goes well.
So last month, an American drone was taken down by the Iranians, and they were saying it was in Iranian territory off the Strait of Hormuz, so they took it down. But this, we don't know yet. Is it a predatory drone? Did it have military capabilities, or was it surveillance? And in fact, if it was surveillance, and in fact it was Iranian waters, Iran has every right to have surveillance drone in their territory. So those are all the answers. We don't know yet.
And that would mean a U.S. ship was in Iranian territory, which that's a whole other issue that brings up. Let's talk about the timeline as you start about, you know, this is the part of this picture is this oil tanker, as you mentioned, and the ship attacks for the last month. What's the timeline as far as you know when this took place and how many?
Well, actually, let me give you a recap. On May 12th, a tanker was attacked in the Gulf of Oman. Now, the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf, they share the Strait of Hormuz together. And then again, on June 13, a tanker was attacked again in the Gulf of Oman. And on the 20th, again, Iran takes down the U.S. drone that we just spoke about. And then on July 10th, a British oil tanker has a standoff with Iran's Revolutionary Guard. And on the 13th July, a tanker disappears in the Strait of Hormuz. And on the 14th, Iran claims that they took down, they actually have possession of that tanker. And then today, it was released that the tanker was smuggling Iranian oil. So there's just been a lot of tension just coming out of the Strait of Hormuz. Now Iran and the United States, two countries that aren't talking right now. So this is just adding a lot more fuel to the fire.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this develops and what more we find out about the actual shooting down of the drone today. Thank you so much for being on top of this story as it just literally broke just hours ago. Thank you, Syed.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.